Product recommendation can be done by simple techniques such as market basket analysis. But in this video, we are going for an overkill and we will try to implement market basket analysis using language models and deep learning. So buckle up my friends, you are here for an captivating demo. The demo which I'll show you is also available on my platform experiencedatascience.com, and if you want, you can also try it out. So let's get started. In this demo, I'll take an example of a retailer who sells products such as lunch boxes and hot water bottles. A simple affinity analysis would look something like this. We observe that the products such as the Space Boy lunchbox and the Dolly Girl lunchbox have a very strong affinity, which means that these two products are generally purchased together. So for example, if a customer is browsing for a Space Boy lunchbox, it would make sense to recommend Dolly Girl lunchbox. Now let's go for an overkill and implement this market basket analysis or affinity analysis using language model and deep learning. But let us first start with data preparation. The data which is required for this is based on invoices and it contains the invoice ID and the product. As our approach is based on language model, we will first convert the product list into a sentence of products. So each product which is bought in an invoice is a word in a sentence. The next step is to create a bigram model where we split sentences into chunk of words. And then we convert this bigram into source and target. So let's say source product and the target product. Now we are ready to make the deep learning model. The first layer is the input layer where we will feed the deep learning neural network with our source products. The next layer is an embedding layer which essentially converts each product or each word into a numeric vector. The next layer is a linear layer of neurons, and for example, we will take 5 neurons. And the last layer is once again a linear layer, but the number of neurons corresponds to the number of products. And in the model training phase, we will pass input as our source product and indicate what should be the target product. Now, in this particular demo, I've taken a limited list of products for model training, and let us see on how the embedding layer looks like after the model training is complete. We can visualize the embedding layer as a scatter plot, and each dot over here corresponds to our products. And let us hover over this product to see what they are. Now here we see that this dot corresponds to the product English Rose hot water bottle, and this one, it corresponds to the product Grey Heart hot water bottle. This is similar to the affinity analysis or the market basket analysis which we have seen earlier, where both these products are close to each other and they are also close in the embedding vector space which is done by this deep learning model. Now you can do something very interesting such as generating recommendation using these vectors. So for example, if you add the vector for the product Scotty Dog hot water bottle and the Grey Heart hot water bottle, you will get the vector English Rose hot water bottle. Now this is once again similar to the market basket analysis. However, the advantage of embedding method is that the recommendations can be generated by vector additions, and it is for this reason the product recommendation using embeddings is also called as generative AI. Now let us look into the linear layer which consists of 5 neurons, and here is the activation of these neurons for the products related to the hot water bottle as well as the lunch boxes. And here you'll observe that the hot water bottles have the last cell as red, while the lunch boxes have the left cell as the red. So intuitively, we can say that the fifth neuron uh, has learned to identify if the product is a hot water bottle or not. Now, here is also a visualization of the loss which occurs during the model training. And we see that the loss is decreasing at every iteration, making the model more accurate. Now, I've tried this model to predict certain items and it works wonderfully. So, for example, if an input item is the Space Boy lunchbox, the predicted or recommended item would be Doll Eagle lunchbox. And if the input product is the Scotty Dog hot water bottle, the predicted item would be Grey Heart hot water bottle. Now, let me show you on how you can access this demo and try it by yourself. So let us first start by going to the platform experiencedatascience.com, and here you'll see the experience market basket analysis with language model. You can always hover over the tip to see what to do at each step. And let us first start by selecting some data sets and copying it and making it ready to use. So there are two data sets over here. One is for model training and one we will use later on for model scoring. All right, so the data is now copied. If you want, you can also add your own data by clicking the add button. But for the moment, let us go ahead and select the data set related to online retail. And let us first see what this data is about. So I'm going to select few columns and select few rows, and let us see what this gives. All right, so we have the results, and as you can see that the data is related to customer invoices, and it has got invoice ID as well as the product description. Now let us convert this data, which in fact is transactions, into sentences. So I will go ahead and select the second tab, and I will start by selecting on how to group my invoices. And of course, my grouping criteria is the invoice itself. I can even sort the data within the invoice by invoice date. And now let me select on how I want to make the sentences. So I would like to make the sentences based on the description of products. I can also enter minimum number of products which I need an invoice. So let me start by entering 10, which means that only invoices with minimum of 10 products will be considered. I'll make some other settings and let us now execute this. And more importantly, I also want to save the output so that we can reuse it in the next analytics. Now let us execute this and see what it gives. All right, so now we have the results, and you can see that for each invoice you have a sentence which in fact is all the list of products. Now let us go ahead and convert this into bigram like source and target. So I will go ahead and select this particular tab, but before that I would also like to use the data set which was generated. So I will go ahead and select the data set using the refresh button. So here I see the data set which was generated using the previous action. So I will go ahead and select it. And now let me go ahead and select what is the text which I want to take. So I want to take the sentence itself. As we are going to create a bigram model, I will enter 2 over here. And of course, other settings, and of course, more importantly, I'm going to save the output of this data set because I'm going to reuse it further. So I will go ahead and select an yes and then execute this. Right, so I now have my results where I have the source product and the target product. And we are going to use this data for model training purposes. So I will go ahead and select the model training. But of course, before that, I would like to go and change the data set. I'll use the data set which was generated just before. So I will go ahead and hit refresh, and I will see my data set. I will select it, and now let me go ahead and do the model training. So I will select the source as X. I will select the target as Y. Now I can enter also that 10 means 10% I want to use for model training. Now here comes the architecture settings. So let us enter embedding layer size of 2. I will enter number of neurons in the first layer as 10. And let me enter also the number of epochs. It means how many times my deep learning model is going to run. And let me enter 1000. And I can make some other settings such as batch. So I'll not put any specific batch number. I'll just put 0 so that the entire data will be taken for training. Learning rate is also important, and let us go for a learning rate of 0.001, and then let us now execute this. In a while you'll see the output and you will see the loss function, and as you can see that the loss is decreasing for each epoch, which is a good news. It means that our model seems to have been trained well. Now let us go for model scoring, and I will first of all start by the data which I would like to score. So I've created a small scoring data set. So let us select that. So I will go ahead and enter the model name which is also available in tip. And I will make some other settings and now execute the model scoring. All right, so now my scoring is done and I see some very fantastic predictions. So X is the input and Y is what we want to recommend. So if somebody has bought Space Boy lunchbox, we are going to recommend Dolly Girl lunchbox. And for example, if somebody has bought Scotty Dog hot water bottle, we are going to recommend the Grey Heart hot water bottle. So pretty interesting and very accurate predictions. And you can also see the embedding behind this using the URL link which is over here. If you select it, you will see the embedding scatter plot. And if you want to see what neurons were activated, you can go ahead and select the URL which is under the layer 1, and you will see the activation for the hot water bottles as well as for lunch boxes. All right, my friends, hopefully you have enjoyed this demo. If yes, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like and comment the video, and see you soon in another exciting video.